Hey, this is Professor Fay. I'm going to show you how to draw some of the major structures of a kidney today. So first we're going to start by drawing a pretty big bean shape on the screen, right? This is going to be the general outline of the kidney, and I'm just going to thicken that a little bit. As I thicken that, I'm going to think about the fact that this is the renal cortex. It's sort of the outer rind of the kidney. All right, then we'll draw some structures that are triangular in shape called the renal pyramids. We'll draw, I don't know, about 5 or 6 of those maybe. And then collectively, these renal pyramids, they compose a region called the renal medulla. Also in that medulla, you'll find extensions of the cortex running between the renal pyramids. These are called renal columns. So we'll draw those in. All right. And then what we'll do is we'll draw some little U-shaped structures right at the tip of the renal pyramid. So the tip of the renal pyramid is actually called the renal papilla. And just hugging that are these yellow things that I'm drawing in. These would be called the minor calyces collectively, or an individual one is a minor calyx. So these minor calyces start to merge, and the point at which they merge is sort of V-shape that I'm drawing in now. These would be called the major calyces. So I just drew 3 major calyces in. And these major calyces end up all merging as this central area here called the renal pelvis. So basically, if we take this next color, just give me 1 sec here, and we draw in basically a nephron, let's say right here. So the nephron, sort of the squiggly thing that loops and does something like this. So this first part of the nephron would be the glomerular capsule. There's a proximal convoluted tubule, a descending limb of the loop of Henle, the actual loop, ascending limb of the loop of Henle, distal convoluted tubule, and the collecting and papillary ducts. So these papillary ducts end at the renal papilla, and this nephron has basically made urine, and it's going to take that urine and dump it into the minor calyx here, and then the minor calyx will send that to a major calyx, and the major calyx will send that urine into the renal pelvis, and the renal pelvis will end up sending that out through a structure called the ureter, and that ureter will take urine, let's say, down to the urinary bladder, which is in the pelvic cavity. So the way that the nephron is able to make urine is that, let's say here's the aorta, and off of it we have a renal artery branching into the kidney. The renal artery then has a bunch of branches that end up coursing through the kidney this way and meeting up with that nephron. And so as components of the blood are filtered into that nephron, things like the watery plasma, in that plasma we might find ions or waste products or something. That nephron is going to make urine out of those products depending on our body needs at any particular time, and then our urine can be excreted from the body. So this is the general setup of a kidney. The one thing I didn't do was also to put in there's a venous supply, so that's going to take components of the blood away from the nephron and send it back out to the vena cava, like, in the body right about here. So that's how a kidney could be drawn and set up. You could draw all of these structures, some of these structures, whatever is the most helpful to you.